Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to another fantastic episode on the Unleashing Potentials podcast. I'm your host, Bernadette. Joining me today is Carmelle, or and Super Manifesta, all the way from New Zealand. Thank you so much for being here. How are you?
Oh, kia ora, Bernadette. Thank you so much for having me here. And it's a delight to be with your audience wherever they're reaching us today.
Yeah. So can you tell us where is the background we're looking at? Because before we aired, I was talking about it. Tell us more about it.
Oh, thank you for asking me that. This is a beautiful beach, which is just down the road from me, and it is called Rapa Nui, Sumner, and it's in Christchurch, New Zealand. And a really cool thing about this is starseeds want to know about this. Rapa Nui is Easter Island.
Mhm.
And the rocks you can see, there's one big rock behind, which is also called Rapa Nui, which talks about the migrations from Easter Island down here to the bottom of the world.
That's so cool. Yeah, so can you tell us more about you and what is it that you do and how do you do it?
So I teach people about how to be more than just the little versions of ourselves that we claim. And I use the starseed label because it kind of goes into that whole relationship with the universe or the galaxy. And I feel it's such an important claiming for us to be able to trace our lineage, not just through the human lines, past, present, future, but also right back into the galaxy. Because when you understand that you're part of this enormous and gigantic living beast of stars and dust and everything else that's vibrating it and moving around at light speed, it really brings a sense of reverence into your life, into the moment. And I feel, anyway, that at this time of our awakening, as at this time of our consciousness, that the more we can grasp how divine we are, how lucky we are to be here, and how amazing all of this is, it
Yeah.
just becomes a little bit more fun and a little bit lighter.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing. So tell us, growing up, were you always connected to the stars?
Um, yes, but not consciously. And
Mm.
I think I'm a Leo sun in
Yeah.
my tropical chart.
Mhm.
And so I had a lot of sunshine energy around me, and I knew that. And there were many times where I knew that I was very different in that I had a bit more positivity and a bit more than the rest of my family because I come from a family where has been a lot of violence. We've had a lot of colonization impacts upon us, and particularly us Indigenous souls and Māori of this country. So yeah, I was a little bit different in that, but yeah, I didn't really start embracing it until the stage of my life when I started to have to deal with some challenges, and that is when you realize who you really are.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thanks for sharing. So you are tribal. Can you tell me? You told me, but I don't remember how you put it. I want to make sure.
Well, we're all tribal. It's just that probably in our country, it's a little bit easier to trace those tribal lines, and also
Yeah.
throughout the Pacific, because we haven't had as much colonization. We haven't had as many centuries of white
Yeah.
people, as I
Yeah.
say, white men, holding us into. So it's yeah. So I have a number of tribal lines that thread all over in New Zealand into one of our mountains and then back. But I basically work in that area, and I also see the galaxy. And a lot of people will understand this. Like when you're first coming into this whole starseed thing, most people will talk about their starseed family. They'll say, I'm Sirian, I'm Lemurian, I'm Andromedan, I'm Arcturian.
Yeah.
Well, I guess so that really has always intrigued me. I've wanted to trace that whakapapa, that lineage.
Mhm.
Whakapapa is our word for lineage. And I've been more interested in the star lines than I have been in the human lines. I've found the human lines a bit crunchy, but I love the star lines.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
star lines are so interesting because they're billions upon billions of years old and they're
yeah.
trillions upon trillions of years wide. And for some reason, must be because I'm, very closely from there, I have really, I really feel that as
Yeah,
a call.
yeah, yeah, that's incredible. Um, in your own words, if you were to explain what a star seed is to someone who has no clue, all they hear is star and then seeds. They're like, what? How would you express it to them so they could understand it?
I think it's a connection with something above and beyond,
Mm, yeah,
above and beyond that we cannot uh, identify or claim, but we just know. We know somewhere in our bones that we're a little bit different because we're not just focusing on the physical. And we have this just like, it's just a knowing of something that's beyond. And I become particularly fascinated at the moment with these things, particles, space particles called neutrinos,
yeah,
which our sun created when it exploded into life and exploded everything else into like the planets all came as bits of dust and hot air and gas and smashed into each other's asteroids. And we got this incredible condensing of nothing into form. And that came, there's an even bigger history behind the sun. But there are these particles called neutrinos that scientists have actually measured through these tiny ice cubes deep, deep, deep in the ocean, in the Atlantic Ocean. It's amazing. But they are particles that don't interact with matter. Like they don't have a relationship with anything physical, but they're flowing all over us and they're flowing out of the sun and they're flowing out of other stars. And, there's some neutrinos that have come from galaxies that are like 500 light years away, and which is a really, really, really long way. And yet they've ended up here. And I think they called them Ernie and Bert. It's just this uh, amazingness of creation that
mhm,
is like flowing all over us and is part of us. And I think the difference with a starseed is that a starseed's going to claim it.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
going to become conscious of it. They're not just going to say, okay, neutrinos, neutrinos, neutrinos. Okay, solar systems. Okay, the Milky Way full of stars. They're going to be out there going,
yeah,
oh, oh my God. Oh, can you see that? And they'll be the only one, like literally the only one that runs out of the party
yeah,
to go and look at the moon. We know the moon phases. We
mm,
don't have to be told. We don't have to, well, sometimes we have to look them up, but we just like walking around. Oh, there's a new moon.
yeah,
Oh, I feel. And
yeah,
the great thing is,
hmm,
more people are tuning in to the neutrinos.
yeah, yeah,
which is great because for a long time it's been kind of lonely.
hmm,
Um, and when I created the group Starseeds of Aotearoa, Aotearoa is one of the indigenous names for New Zealand. It
yeah,
means land of the long white cloud. And that was when one of our mountains exploded, created a big plume of smoke, and people chased it all around the Pacific in tiny canoes to come down here, which is amazing. But it is, Aotearoa is under the Southern Hemisphere. We look at the Milky Way. It's a big ship. And we love ships. We love jumping in the boat. We love being in water. And so when I set that group up, it was literally me and somebody else who kind of was interested in our south sky. And I think we're on about five, maybe five and a half. There's always people who are on the fringes going, what are you guys actually talking about? And I really find I find that
yeah,
so much. People like they're looking at me, they're going, I know you love these stars, but
yeah,
why? And I'm like, okay, let me tell you. But this mass is growing. And as we grow, more people become aware of the stories. And
Hmm.
that's largely what it's about. It's like,
Yeah.
because everything is a story with our language, like nothing actually
Mhm.
is real. So
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
hearing and sharing some of these stories that celebrate this incredible spiral galaxy that we're all like dancing around in as particles or as bits of matter, does it really matter?
Mm.
Does it really matter?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So can you tell us what are the 10 spiral codes and why are they codes and why are there 10 of them, not more or less?
There are more, but the spiral codes that I like are the galaxies code because we're in a spiral galaxy, right? It's like a big octopus. Octopuses are very special. We should not eat them. If anyone eats them, stop eating them. Especially we're in a spiral galaxy and it's a beautiful, it's got these arms that come off it. Four, I think they count. So this, and at the heart of it, people say it's a black hole, but those of us down under say it's a golden heart with a
Yeah.
beautiful sphere or a womb because,
Mhm.
all the galaxies were birthed through the wombs of the grandmothers and they're all connected. We're all connected at the womb.
Mhm.
And it's all dancing, and it's all spinning, and the whole thing is like a wave. It's like moving. It's a lot, we have waves for a reason. They
Mhm.
mirror, they mirror our spiral galaxy. So at the heart, we have a place called Te Kori for us. It's called, it's the void. It's known as the galactic center, 27 degrees of Sagittarius. And that opens, it's actually open on a day of the year or a few days of the year, depending on how you like to, dance it out. But
Yeah.
the 18th of December for us, I think it's 19th of December for us, the 18th of December for you, because we're ahead.
Mhm.
It's when all of the light streams down right through the galaxy onto Earth. It's like the new moon of the galaxy. And
Mhm.
the galaxy, our star is spinning, orbiting the galaxy. This galactic center takes
Mhm.
225 to 250 million years. Our sun's only 20 years old in galaxy terms. But that day of the sun being right under or right near the heart
Mhm.
is December the 18th, 17th, 19th, whatever. It's around that time. But
Mhm. Mhm.
that is a day, that's one of those codes. And then if you trace 36 degrees all the way around the year, you're going to come up with those 10 codes. And every code is like an axis. So
Mhm.
we have that day when Te Kori opens, when the sun is right under the galactic center. And so that's one point, but it also goes down to the opposite signs because you have to understand, the earth is spinning around. So we essentially have five of
Mhm.
these axes, and each of those has a point. And what that means is that what this means, it's actually practical. So I've worked out the days. Oh, anyone can work them out. It
Mhm.
doesn't take a lot of, you just line up the degrees, 27 degrees of Sagittarius. That's the date with our calendar, our modern calendar, and you'll get a day, which is, as I said, about the 18th of December.
Mhm.
So you basically find those days. And what that means is that there's more galactic starlight, more galactic. It's like a eclipse, you could say, on Earth. We know eclipses are special. We know new moons are special. We know full moons are special. We
Mm.
know certain full moons have a certain flavor. We know certain sunrises, like you can see a sunrise on the beach, my beach.
Mhm.
When that light is present, that we can see it there.
Yeah.
So these are days, 10 of them basically, in the year when all of this galactic light comes through. And those are days when for me anyway, I block them out of my calendar. I don't work. I will meditate more. I will sit quietly under trees and listen. I will run workshops with other people who are interested in this sort of stuff.
Mhm.
I will take my shoes off all day and be barefoot all day. If it coincides with a new moon or a full moon, I will do something extra special.
Mhm.
And if I was saying to you that your birthday is very close to one of these
Yeah.
spirals, and
Yeah.
it's all about service to humanity and the cosmos and spirituality or ʻwairua, spirituality being the opening to these unseen energies, this divinity, this sacredness of everything. So that's your spiral, and that's why you're here. And anyone who's listening to you, my guess, my guess is that anyone listening will be born on one of those 10 days and will have one of those spirals because pretty much everyone in my entire world is on those spirals.
Hmm.
Me, not personally, which really annoys me because my own my own day of birth is outside the spiral, the galaxy. And I'm like, how does that get to be the case? How come I worked out the days and I'm not one of the spirals? It's not fair.
Yeah,
But
that's
maybe that means, I get to communicate it and tell everyone else that they're a spiral. I think it's important to embrace the spiral code because if you like even just moving your body, like, you just like when you start to like move like in a spiral way,
hmm
you actually start to feel a lot lighter. And we spend too much time in square spaces sitting upright,
yeah.
thinking rationally and logically,
Yeah.
and not enough dancing, not enough playing, not enough winding ourselves around. Look at nature itself. It's so full of spiral forms. The divinity of life itself expresses itself as a spiral. The ferns, the snails. Snails are very cosmic, very. Don't eat them either. French people stop eating snails. Don't eat octopuses. Like, our ovaries, our eyes in relation to our faces, our thalamus, our ear. We've got spirals in our ear. Like everything, we are a living embodiment of this galaxy. And it is an expression of all of us. Everything dancing into itself, spiraling into itself.
Hmm.
So I guess that's why in my own starseed practice, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's the spirals.
Yeah.
I'm going with spirals.
Yeah, yeah, that's really cool. That's really, really cool. Yeah, you're right. Everything is codes and connected. Um, our birthdays and time and it's just all around everywhere. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, not all of us are paying attention, not only to ourselves, but our surroundings. I love
Mm.
that you're talking about nature, just the sunset and the full moon. Something happens to me every full moon. I'm still trying to figure it out. I transform. Like I don't know how to describe it. Like a wolf transforming. That's what I
Mm.
feel. It's very
Mm.
painful, empowering, and powerful.
And I think that is also a wahine or a woman particular skill because, and I work with this amazing collaborator partner who's a mastermind valley coach,
Mhm.
and she's really into body wellness and thriving. And she says, woman, stand under the full moon, stand under the full moon to release and to bring your cycles into resonance and into balance. If you want to get pregnant, stop taking the pill, but also under the new moon,
Yeah,
come into the moon because she governs fertility and spawning. You're going to get pregnant if you have sex
yeah.
during the new moon and like you're in your fertility cycle. But we can use He Marama, the moon, because it's a coding, it's an emotional coding, as you say. And I was going to ask you, were you born on the full moon? Is that why it's so significant? Because we all have a period of,
Yeah, yeah. As I shared, I was born. My mom was telling me the story, so I'm trying to put the pieces together. I was born in the morning. It's possible the moon was still there. You know how when it's daylight, you can still see the sun and the moon? And I was born wide in the open at a supermarket, so it's possible, but I do know it impacts me so much. I'm grumpy. I don't know why. My emotion and senses are very heightened. And then
Mm,
after that phases out, I feel like I shed something.
mm. So, something to look at. We all have a moon phase. We were born on a phase of the moon. It's very easy to find.
Mm.
And like I know for myself, I was born on the black moon. And
Oh.
it's why I'm so ooky spooky. So when people say, why are you that way? I'm like, well, it's not my fault. I was born on the day when the moon was just about to head back to the new. So it is meant to be. All my codes are very fateful tribal codes. And like my entire life, I did have the option. I trained as a lawyer. I practiced for a bit. And then I just was like, nah, I'm not doing that. I don't want to be a lawyer. I don't like it. It's boring. There's too many rules,
Yeah.
and and came into this really claiming of my period of the moon. And so it's easy for you to find out your moon phase,
Hmm.
and for anyone. And you get 12 of them a year to actually practice this code,
Yeah.
because what you're talking about is a gift that you've been given by the universe,
Hmm.
and maybe to help others who have other women who have the same, same gift and challenge.
Yeah, yeah. I think you've described my purpose and it makes sense. Just wanting to help people and heal and do everything I can to make sure people learn their soul lessons, but also at their own will, not forcefully getting them to change. And I think at times that's where society gets it wrong. They want
Mm.
to program people and change them to be a certain way when I think we come here programmed just fine. We just have to keep dabbing and trying different things and take risk. I never thought
Yeah.
I would be doing a podcast. I'm like, I love people, but I just even in classrooms, I used to sit at the very back to make sure the teacher never asked me any questions. So, yeah.
I understand that. Whereas I sat at the front and eyeballed the teacher and gave him a hard time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that is, I think that is, again, that's reflecting your particular beauty, the beauty of your sun sign is your empathy, your natural empathy. And often you find with the water signs, particularly right at the beginning, because the degrees, if you're learning astrology, learning the degrees is really going to help you because it will tell you the quality of your sunlight. And I'm a helio astrologer, so I'm all about the sun. I'm all about taking the sun's view in the cosmos.
Mhm.
But when you understand those degrees, it's really important to let you know whether you're, new sunlight, sunrise energy, or, like sunset energy, or in the middle of the day, which is the full moon, that
Yeah.
really bright, bright, warm glow. Pisces and where you are is such a true expression of the mammalian soul, the heart of the fish. And um, one of the challenges of being Pisces is that you are the energetic doormat for the entire cosmos.
It's true. It's very true. Yeah,
It is. It
you're right.
is.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
that empathy is such a gift, but you have to essentially put your orb around you and cosmic guard
Mhm.
and only decide to tune in, because otherwise that energy is just going to go and
Cool.
stick on
Yeah.
you whether you like it or not. I say this to Pisces, it's going to get in your body.
Mm.
Like you need to go in the room and actually put on a dry suit so that you can be protected from everybody else's shitty energy.
Yeah. 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 Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, you're speaking so much truth to my being. I'm like, how did she know? Wow, wow. You're right. I am a Pisces and I feel everything. And I feel it so intensely that it does make me feel sick and gets in my body. And I'm learning to detect it because I'm like, that's not my emotion. I never thought that. Why am I
It's yours. Come on, take it
Yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah, definitely. So, what are stargates?
So this is a really great thing that you've just asked me because as a Pisces, it's harder for you guys because you're on the Northern Hemisphere. So you have an opposition, which is the opposite sign being Virgo. But if you take the helio perspective, which is rise up to the sun, and think about your starlight, that beautiful, watery, and passionate, creative, you essentially are the subconscious of everything, and
Yeah.
you are the ocean, you are the beings of the ocean, you are the sounds. Pisces has everything of all the other signs, all the other zodiac signs, and it's the phase of the crop when it's just about to pop out into spring. So you carry everything for everyone, no
Mhm.
pressure. But in the helio setting, what you get to do is Earth. So in a helio astrology, which is, my brand of starseed language that I use, my system, you take your sunlight and you earth it in the opposite sign. So getting to know the qualities of Virgo can really help you earth your beautiful compassion.
Mhm.
And I kind of knew that you were vibing into that anyway, because when I started talking about nature,
Yeah.
you got like, oh, and you saw my background. You're like, oh, I love your background.
Yeah.
And that is your Virgo side, your Pisces sun asking you to earth and to feel in with your moon into the opposite sign. And so when you do the spiral dance, you're not one or the other, you're actually fusing the opposites.
Yeah.
And that is really, really, really important with your mission on this earth is to ground. So I don't know if you have bare feet, but whether you can be bare feet foot, but I swear by bare feet. And
Mhm.
because of the natural grounding, because we're exposed to so much stimulation, and for Pisces, particularly all the emotions of everyone are like latching onto you. So you've just got to be completely clearing all the time, clearing. You can do it with your breath. That's when the neutrinos come through you from the heart of the galaxy. But
Yeah.
also just walking around and on the grass,
Mhm.
outside, taking a breath, deep breath, feeling right into the heart of you and connecting with the heart of the galaxy, and just regularly doing that, regularly feeling into that. You're not going to have to heal because you're just aligning with, with the spiral. Use the spiral,
Yeah.
draw it down through your head in your meditation and take it through your body and ask the spiral to clear out the emotions that are not yours. Um, it's, yeah, I think it's practice of the earthing for a Pisces.
Mhm.
And likewise for anyone else who's listening. It's about working with the sunlight that you have. That's the sun in your sign when you were born, but understanding the exact opposite. That's where you earth it. So, if we head back to Aquarius, which is all about the group and is all about collective consciousness, you go to Leo and you lead out by standing on a stage. All of the signs, we have an element of the whole Earth's orbit of the sun in us. But particularly for the time when we're born, the qualities of our nature, we need to ground them. And that's where you asked me the question about stargates.
Yeah.
The stargates are just this opening of essentially the galaxy, which give us more light, give us more assistance, remind us of our ancestors
Hmm.
and their unseen support and how do I describe it? Like it's like they're always with us, hugging us, kissing us, cheering us on. And that's not just our actual passed over ancestors, that's, everything in the cosmos, all the dead stars, everything is a connection to us. So
Hmm.
on these days, and particularly with the galaxies, 10 stargates, there is just more light. And I think that is one of the challenges for us as starseeds is to really find those days and, you know, find the system that brings us those days. It doesn't really matter what system it is, it just means that you find a way to honor your own light with the galaxy's light or with the universe's light or with God's light, however you like to describe it.
Mhm.
But they're like just special days where you can really feel into your purpose, feel into your mission, feel that you're part of something bigger because you actually are.
Mm, yeah, yeah, definitely. I agree. Yeah. You talked about astrology. Is astrology astrology? Because there's so many branches of it. It's like a tree, but there's different branches with different name. I've heard of Vedic astrology, and you just shared what you do with astrology. Um, I tried to learn astrology. I just stayed at the basic level because it's beautiful and it complex at the same time. They tied it to Greek gods, and I
Mm.
just by the time they put the month, the birthday, I'm like, that's fantastic. I'm out. It just it gets so complex.
It is so complicated. And then if you become a galactic astrologer like me, you have to understand everything about the whole cosmos. So I think that's why I came up with the spirals. So astrology. Well, I use four calendars. So I started with the mainstream astrology, but it's based on the Northern Hemisphere skies. So there's a whole lot of things we have to do to it. But what I would say, and this is how the awakenings I've had and that have brought the stars down, uh, I've gone outside and I've looked around and I've seen particular stars, and then we have this practice in my culture. It's called a call or a karanga. And so a woman in my culture will call, generally in a formal setting.
Mhm,
But I walk around my bare feet and I call to the stars and I call to the trees and I call to our Mother Earth and we call them atua or gods, elemental gods. I call to the sky, Sky Father, Raki Nui, and I have this, you want me to demonstrate it for you?
sure, yes, yes, go ahead.
I've had the flu really badly, so my voice is not what it normally is. But so I would say, if I was starting with the stars, I would first I just remember that I'm a vessel of the ancestors, and I would say, Karanga mai ki te whetū, whakaio. Karanga mai ki te raki nui, karanga mai ki te tama nui, karanga mai ki te he marama, nahu mai aere mai, whakaio.
Mm.
That's a very quick
Wow.
little demo. It
That's so
goes on for a long
beautiful.
time.
Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. For some reason, it's a little flicker in my soul. I have a feeling I've had past lives in New Zealand, in that part of the world. I don't know
Mm,
why. I just feel it, the language, and I've seen the different dance that they do, and just the richness of the culture there. It's truly fascinating.
yeah. We're really lucky because our language, Te Reo Māori, is the language of the land.
Mm,
And so, as I was doing, I was just basically, I was calling to some ancestors and I started with the sky. And then I have that particular chant that I used um, is whakaaio, and
mm,
a-e-o is the masculine, the feminine, the child, and it means peace. And so just using the word whakaaio brings peace, and chanting it brings peace. And not that many people. It's kind of more of a probably less of the what you would see on the internet,
mm,
which is a bit more masculine. So to walk around on the earth and call to the elements is more of a womanly practice, and probably quite an old school practice as well. Not that many young people do that, but probably just because of the way our modern society is.
Mm.
But we have a deep reverence for the environment, particularly as Māori. We have a deep reverence for our ancestors. We have our calendar is new moon to black moon, so that's how we look at our relationship, and it's both observation as well as stories. And we literally walk around, those of us who are real connected, and we are looking at the stars, we're looking at the water, we're looking at the trees and the earth, thinking about what we can plant so we can eat it. We're listening to all of these elements, everything around us, as if they were our family, as if we are them. You know, some of my cousins will go around saying, I am the river and the river is me. We actually have a river that has been given personhood. I really think that is a little bit lower than where the river should be. But, you know, we actually culturally celebrate the fact that we are the small bits in the environment. We are we're just the guardians of something that's so much bigger than us. So
Mhm.
we have a lot of practices which just make us naturally spiritual. And astrology in a way it does that because and in a way just saying you're a starseed actually does that as well. It's not so much that you can define exactly what that is or know the whole system. Some of us do like to know the system, but it is more that you just allow a deepening of who you are. And it sure beats running around worrying about the kids or worrying about your ex or your husband or your mother or, what's happening in politics or, like
Yeah.
we have so many amazing instances of life in every moment that we're missing. And so I think that is where definitely that has become my practice
Mhm.
every moment that I remember, which is not all the time. Sometimes I also forget and go off on a rant about something that's irritating me. But on the on the whole, I think it's about being closer to everything.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. So, how would you sum up in maybe a sentence or more everything you've just shared? How can someone learn those?
I think firstly, it's all inside of you. And if you start with the stars and just call them in and call them in both into your heart, but also into your soul, and you ask to be more connected, everything comes. And you can't even imagine how much and how fast and thick and freakily it comes when you ask our ancestors. They're up there and they're in us and they're around us. And when you call, for sure they call back.
They do. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, my kitchen lights, my lights have been going crazy. I don't know if it's me who's doing it or if it's them doing it. I'm like, okay. Whenever it flickers, I'm like, what do you want? I just ask. I don't necessarily hear anything, but like, okay.
Just a word of caution. If you actually start really talking to the stars, and particularly if you can see the Milky Way, I don't know if you can see the Milky Way like we see it here. It's like a massive big fish that's right over us.
Yeah.
I just want to give a word of caution that if you make a call like I did with your voice, prepare for a seismic eruption
Ooh.
because calling to calling this light and calling through those stargates and using them means you're ready to receive all of that light and energy and power and ancestral reminders. The remembrances come big. I get these little they start
Mm-hmm.
like this on my third eye, waking me up at 2, 3, 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And I will go up and look at the stars, and then I'll write some stuff, and because I do a lot of writing,
Mhm.
and I'll go out on the beach, always on the beach for sunrise. So it changes you, and you stop being the same material boy, girl, or however you like to define yourself.
Yeah.
It changes you and shifts you, doesn't it? You can't go back to being the same old,
Oh yeah, it
same.
does. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm proof that it does. Yeah, it's just materialistic stuff. I mean, I use it. I don't, I think a soul is more important than that, and guiding people is more important than materialistic stuff. But yeah, it does. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I wanted to ask you a question about your children. How do your children receive this? Like you have an 8-year-old and a 15-year-old. How
Yeah.
that is also one of the challenges for star seeds is actually fitting in with our families.
Yeah, yeah. Both of them are very open. I know my son is very open. She was talking to a 200-year-old soul, or he called it a ghost. It wasn't scary for him. It was like a friend. I'm like, who is it? Emily. Emily's from this time. This is what Emily experienced. So he's very, very open to that. And I'd ask him questions all the time. What is God's source? Jesus is like, and he described what Jesus is like, look like. And then I go look at pictures. I'm like, oh. And then I listen to NDE stories to back it up. And oh, okay, he remembers something. Yeah.
Now you have a galactic oversoul, right? In flesh in your house. That's kind of cool.
And I have cats too. I know they're very connected and they see portals and I don't know, they're just weird and loving and extra weird. I don't get it. Sometimes they just zoom around and I'm like, what is going on? Everyone
Yeah.
is sitting still and they're losing their mind and it makes us laugh.
Yeah, I know. I think there's so much that we don't even begin to. We've got such limited eyes for what we see. I think, I really do love to capture the sun, me particularly, I'm an early riser, but
Yeah,
the color behind me of that particular
beautiful.
sunrise, every day it's the same.
Yeah,
And that was no filter, literally, that pink light, the gold light, the yellow light,
yeah,
if we ever needed, you know, to proof that we live in the most amazing galaxy, I just think we need to look
yeah,
around.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I have a few questions for you as we wrap up. The
Mm.
first one is tell us more about your book or books and where can people find you on social media?
So my first book that is published, it's both a book and an audio book that I narrated with my own voice. It was fun and took a long time. It's 9 hours long. It's called Super Manifestor, Manifest the Secret in You. And that's a deliberate book about learning how to meditate and to listen. It was really my conversation with Source, Universe, God, all that is, and how to bring that into the day. So that is why it is called Super Manifest, because it's different than just manifesting, because everybody manifests with their thoughts and their feelings, but not everyone super manifests, which is, basically bringing more positive energy. So that was my first book. And I'm writing book two, which is called Super Manifest Star, Manifest the Stars in You, which is exactly what we've been talking about. But essentially, they have the same thread. They're about uh, me reminding others that they are the universe, that they are the galaxy, that they are a particle of God and that they are expressing God through and back to itself. And yeah, it's about uh, spirituality, more spirituality in every moment. That's a common theme.
Mhm.
So my strap name is really easy. I am Super Manifesta. on Instagram, and I have a YouTube podcast as well, Manifestors Unite,
Mm.
and that's a big theme, the whole expression of divinity. So I'm
Wow,
easy to find. If you put in Super Manifestar, you'll get me down here in at the bottom of the world in New Zealand, Aotearoa.
that's so cool. Thank you for sharing. What is the meaning of life for you?
Oh, presence. You know I was going to answer that. It's the present, it's alive, being alive and being present in the aliveness. And that is the paradox as well as the meaning, because most of the time I think I'm 25% in before I realize I've just missed the moment. But
Yeah.
anyway, it is my quest, and to be with you here and this audience here in this moment, at this moment of aliveness,
Mm,
is a blessing.
yeah.
I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Well, thank you so much, Super Manifestar, Carmel, for coming on the podcast today. I honor you sharing, and this was divine, and it was meant to happen, and it has happened. And I know it's going to impact not only your audience, but mine. So thank you.
Thank you, Bernadette.
You're welcome.